Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Johnny Lively here for the Wednesday morning show. Taking a look at the satellite and radar sponsored by Switch Electric. You can see it is pretty calm across the state of Texas, Louisiana, and the whole South. We're going to see more clouds throughout the day today, really the next couple of days. You can see a weak front is trying its best to get into the state of Texas. That won't reach us here because it's going to be pretty warm the next 5 to 7 days. Notice how warm it is already this morning. Sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services. We've got some upper 50s far to the north, but the rest of the region is already into the low to almost the mid 60s this morning. Winds were out of the north yesterday morning, and now they are out of the south. That means we are 20 to 30 degrees warmer this morning versus Tuesday morning. This is thanks to our sponsor of Do Good Credit Union. It's crazy. If you don't like the weather here in Southeast Texas, just sleep on it, and it will be a lot different just 24 hours later. Pretty strong wind gusts we're expecting later this morning into the afternoon hours, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, and this is going to continue even into Thursday as well too. So back-to-back days of some pretty strong wind gusts. Even as we get into the late afternoon into later this evening, we'll still have 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts later this evening. So a pretty breezy day is in store for us. And this brings us to our outdoor and construction forecast for today, sponsored by Modern Concrete Material. We'll get into the upper 70s to low 80s later on this afternoon, but the big headline is those 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. Construction and outdoor wise, definitely want to keep that in the back of your mind because you start getting pretty breezy. You have people going up construction wise. You got to start kind of being concerned. You get some pretty strong breezy conditions. Look at the Futurecast, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. We've got this weak front that's going to try its best to get into our region. It's not going to make it. This is one of the reasons that we're going to be pretty breezy. We've got a front and high pressure kind of moving in. We finally will have a front that pushes through our region late Thursday evening into Friday, giving us 10 to 20% coverage for some showers. This isn't going to change the temperatures too much, but it will help kick out the humidity a little bit Friday into Saturday, just making things a little bit more comfortable. But upper 70s to low 80s is sticking around the next 5, 7, if not the next 10 days. And in fact, you can see that on our temperature outlook. This brings us into next week. So the next 7, 10 days looks pretty warm. Upper 70s to low 80s looks pretty common. No big cold fronts coming anytime soon. We'll actually talk about, is this going to be our last chance for freeze and frost? We'll talk about that here in a minute. Rainfall outlook, we are mostly dry the next 5 to 7 days. That weak front comes in Thursday evening into early Friday morning. 10 to 20% coverage we're expecting, maybe 20 to 30% coverage for Southwest Louisiana, but overall, we are on the dry side. This brings us to our Futurecast. We're going to see more clouds the next couple of days, but some pretty strong winds out of the south, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts today and tomorrow. If you're looking for the chance for some isolated showers, that moves into our region as we get into late Thursday afternoon, mainly Thursday evening into early Friday morning, 10 to 20% coverage for Southeast Texas, possibly slightly higher in Southwest Louisiana, but here we are, 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. You can still see some lingering showers over there towards Southwest Louisiana and then towards the Sabine River over here in Southeast Texas. So the coverage is on the lower side. No bona fide rain is moving in. Here's our overall high temperatures we're going to see this afternoon, mainly into the middle to upper 70s. I-10 down towards the coast is into the 60s, but for the majority of the part, or the majority of the region, upper 70s to low 80s is what we'll be seeing. Lots of cloud coverage throughout the day today, thanks to our sponsor, Silsby Ford. Lots of 60s across the board tonight. It is a lot warmer. You can see as that southern flow continues to bring in the Gulf moisture, we will stay warm overnight tonight, muggy into the 60s across the region. This brings us to our forecast dew points. Remember, dew points get into the 20s and 30s and 40s. That's comfortable. You start getting into the upper 50s and 60s and especially the 70s. That's uncomfortable. That's muggy. So we actually get pretty muggy later on this afternoon, especially as we get into Thursday. Weak front kicks out that humidity, moves it offshore. We get a little bit more comfortable as we get into Friday. Dew points into the 30s and 40s, down toward the coast, likely still going to be into the 50s and 60s. But you'll see just things are a little bit more comfortable Friday and Saturday. That's the biggest thing that we're seeing from this cold front or this weak front that's moving in. It's not going to change the temperatures too much. Just going to help kick out some of the humidity a little bit Friday and Saturday. What's the chance of another freeze coming? Well, the chance for a freeze is starting to get pretty low as we get into March. In fact, our last freeze typically happens late February into early to middle March. So we pretty much are at that time frame to where I just don't think we're going to see another freeze. If anything, we could possibly see another frost sometime in the month of March, maybe during spring break or as we get closer to Easter. But our chances for a freeze freeze, another freeze, definitely looks to be very low. We are getting more into the spring-like weather. And you can see that the next 5 to 7 days here in Southeast Texas. Upper 70s to low 80s the next 7 days. Lows pretty much hugging the 50s and 60s. We've got a chance of rain coming in on Thursday, but other than that, we are mostly dry, but some pretty breezy conditions today and tomorrow, and again into early next week. 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts today and again coming up on Thursday. Southwest Louisiana, pretty breezy today and tomorrow. 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts. We've got that weak front coming in Thursday evening into early Friday morning, can give us 30% coverage for some isolated showers, possibly scattered. But again, no bona fide rain the next 5 to 7 days. Temperatures mainly into the upper 70s to almost into the low 80s for Southwest Louisiana. We are somewhat above average for this time of year, but hey, I'm definitely a fan of it. Good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. Thanks for tuning into the Wednesday morning show. I had to think about what day it was, but thanks again for tuning into the Wednesday morning show. Y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll still have more posts throughout the day on social media, especially on our free app here on the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Y'all have a good Wednesday. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see y'all again Thursday morning. Don't blow away from those strong breezy winds today.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by.
At Gulf Coast Weather Solutions, we focus on delivering reliable weather forecasts. Our new app provides reliable weather updates and alerts no matter where you are. With real-time weather alerts and warnings, you can stay informed and prepared wherever you go. Download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app today on the App Store and Google Play, and stay connected no matter where you are.